I honestly don't know when to grind and when to live. For the past 2 years, coming to think of it, I've never really lived my life. All I did was try to run away from something, mainly the fear of ending up like everybody else. And all I did was work and work and work and fail and fail and fail. Get back to old habits, get out of old habits, create new habits, and just work. And I woke up today morning, and it's been 2 days since I've gotten fired from my first ever sales role, so that external pressure isn't there anymore. And I woke up at 3 a.m. once again, and I just sat on my bed, fucking cooked. I told myself, why do I still do it? Is there a need to grind 100% every day, even when you actually have no external thing? Like, if you're starting a business or you have something going on, right? That's when you flip the switch back on or increase the dial. But I'm realizing something really important, and it's pretty dangerous. I don't know whether you'll get me on this, but when you're in this discipline phase for a long time, you kind of forget emotions. You kind of forget fun. You forget the things that make you happy. Like, honestly, the only thing that makes me happy now is when I finish everything and I'm on my bed on time and I'm like, fuck. And there's some days when I'm, excited to watch a movie, like during lunch or something. But the thing is, grinding for so long without direction, it's just wake up, train like an athlete, come home, study like a philosopher, study my mind, and just go to bed. What happens is that discipline becomes an identity, and it's consuming me. When too much of something gets to you, it fucks you up. I'm not saying that discipline is bad, discipline is amazing. But what am I really doing with the discipline that I have? Today I had a sprint session. I was on 6 hours of sleep once again. And even at that part, like, I thought to myself, I slept at 8 o'clock. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. But for what? Right? Why would I want to sacrifice an hour of sleep when I can get that extra hour and perform better? Like, I don't have that urgency to work on something, right? It's not like a business or anything, but I still do it anyways. I still have to wake up at 3 a.m. I don't know why. Because if I don't, I feel like shit. If I wake up at 4 a.m., and it might seem like nuts to other people, like, this kid is waking up at 4 a.m. and he thinks that's nothing. Like, to be honest, that's what I feel like. Because that's what discipline does to you when you make it an identity. It fucking consumes you. And I felt like shit after waking up. Like, my eyes were drooping and I was on the track. And there was something I realized about myself. Again, sprinting. It's usually when I'm sprinting, I realize so much about my mind. I was tired, 6 hours of sleep, no motivation, no music, no one talking. It's just me, my shadow, my inner voice, and my stopwatch. So I finished the warm up and I was starting the sprint. 20-second all out sprint, 10-second rest. When I clicked that stopwatch, there was this sudden surge of doubt. Like, I didn't want to do it. It's like if you've seen The Flash, Barry Allen, when he ran out of his speed force, he kind of died down. It's like there was no more juice in his tank. And that's what it felt like. And the morning workout became a full mental game. The outcome wasn't to sprint. The outcome was my state, something that I also learned yesterday. It was whether I could move when my body was clearly cooked and it was my fault. And I couldn't. I didn't want to move. And all these thoughts of doubt creeped in, like, why did I wake up this early? Why am I doing this when I have nothing going on in my life? All this shit slowly started to eat me out alive. And I just walked. I was in sweat. I was drenched in sweat. I was just walking, panting. And really, man, I don't know when to turn this grind switch off and turn it on. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I'm not doing anything stupid. I'm not wasting my life. But it's almost taking things a bit too extreme, which is costing myself. It feels like right now that I'm not building but digging a hole. Every time I sleep slightly later and I wake up way too early, I'm digging a hole. Every time, because of that weakness that I didn't get enough sleep, it follows through the entire day. And when I give into cheap dopamine impulses like watching movies, talking too much, I soften up and my performance slowly dies down because I've trained myself to perform at a really high level in terms of physical and mental part. But because of this one thing, sleep, I haven't been doing that. Even the month's intention for this month, June, I told myself I'm going to prioritize sleep, but clearly I'm not doing that. It's not like I'm waking up at 10 a.m., eating McDonald's first thing in the fucking morning, but it's more like when I have the opportunity to get an extra hour of sleep, I don't take it because it apparently hurts my feelings that I'm not ahead of everyone else. Like, that's the thing, man. If you let something consume you, it's gonna fuck you up. Like, even something good as discipline. I have nothing else besides this identity and discipline. Like, that's all I have, really. And this is what keeps me alive, I would say. Like, I think I need to start letting go of this need to always grab onto it, because every time I'm grabbing onto it for a long time, it hardens me, and some days I crack because of how tensed I am. Like, I need to learn to let go, and I'm just trying to grind when I need to grind and live when I need to live. And I'm not talking about partying all day, doing stupid shit, but live. My definition of living is going out more, not with like friends and shit, but just applying my learnings in the real world. Like, that's my field work. Getting that extra hour of sleep, watching that movie, reading that book that isn't related to business or whatever. You know, it's these simple things. You know, taking a walk instead of doing 2 hours of deep work. That's my definition of living. Because my thought process is if I skip a day of work, or not just skip is the wrong word. If I dial down the grind, I'm fucked. And to some extent that is true, but I just want to dial it down a bit. I just want to feel less shit when I wake up 1 hour later. Instead of 3 a.m., I wake up at 4 a.m. I get that extra hour of sleep. So I don't even put an alarm, so my body just wakes up. I sleep till I wake up. Go for that walk instead of doing an hour of deep work session that I don't really need to do. It's these little things that I'm forgetting to do. And that's something important I learned. It's to know when to grind and when to live. Because if I'm being completely honest, the outcome is something that I always want. That life, right? I think everyone wants that. That's why you guys do what you do. But to me, what I'm realizing is that it isn't the life that I want, but it's the person that lives that life. I look up to all these characters. Like, I wouldn't go deep into that, maybe in another video, but I look up to all these fictional characters, and I kind of figured out that instead of focusing on outcomes, like the goal, I just focus on my state, like internal state. So instead of grinding blindly, doing shit blindly, what is my state like? Like during sprint sessions, is it about going all out every 20 seconds during that sprint interval? Or is it about feeling burnt, like fucking burnt, but you still move? Because so far I've never done 20 seconds all out sprints times 8 sets of that. Like, I've never done it. And what I've also never done is doing that same thing for 8 times, but only just moving. Not sprinting, moving, even though my body, my mind, my stomach, my legs are fucked. I just stopped. I've never taken that route to move. Never made the choice to move, even though I was clearly cooked. So that's my state. Even, approaching people, strangers, girls. Like, is the outcome to sound cool to impress them? Or is it just to stay calm, to keep that heart rate low? Like, where does my focus go? And since yesterday was like a horrible day, it was shit. My armor completely cracked. I gave in to cheap dopamine. because I forgot how to live. Like I forgot everything about that part. That's what happens when you grind and grind and grind and grind. You create this fucking armor and you forget to do simple things like get out of your room instead of working 8 hours a day, stuck all day. Just go out for fucking walk. Like it's not that I'm going partying or drinking or anything like that. I'm just going for a walk. But yeah, what happened was I just learned about that. Like everything was about state. And this simple perspective shift on focusing on the state, your internal state as the outcome, is my missing ingredient to detaching from everything else. Like people talk about the law of detachment and all that shit. This is the key, my key. It could be yours, it doesn't have to be yours, but I'm just giving you an idea. To me, the law of detachment stems from focusing on my internal state in any given situation. Because even if I'm speaking to you right now, I'm not focusing on what I'm saying, but I'm focusing on where these things are coming from. Like, is it coming from a place of yap? Like, am I just yapping to the camera? Or is it coming from a state of controlled? Like, I'm feeling all my words. Every word is felt before it exits my mouth. And that's what I mean by state. When you talk to people, are you speaking mindlessly or are you speaking with intention? It's these simple things that I'm slowly trying to shift towards, lean towards. But yeah, throughout these past few days, I've learned a lot about myself. I'm still learning, but I think it's time to dial things down a bit. Still maintain everything else, the early mornings, the deep work sessions, but get out more. Get up slightly later. Instead of 3, make it to 4 a.m. Get this vessel some rest and recovery. And I think that's the main thing. I think it's time to know the difference between the grind and life. The grind isn't life. Probably that's one thing I've learned also. I used to think that the grind is life. I gotta grind and grind and grind. Life is grind, bro. The grind is the grind, and life is the grind, if you know what I mean. They're two different things, but they're the same thing. It's so fucking weird. But I need to treat them like separate things. Only work when I need to work, but also live every day so that my future self gets the benefit. That's the difference, right? It's not grind, grind, grind. Yeah, I mean, that's all I have on my mind. Now I'm gonna get some studying done. Yeah, I keep learning, man. I keep learning. You gotta be honest with yourself about all this stuff. You gotta kill that identity if it consumes you. Yeah. I hope this helped anyone watching. Ciao.